Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, September the 25th, and we are here to look at the new releases that are being published this week. We look at a different genre every day of the week, and on Wednesdays, we look at romance. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday nights. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. So a total of 10 hours of sprinting available each week. So our next ones are tomorrow night and Thursday. Sorry, I made some coffee. Let us jump in. There's lots and lots and lots of romance this week. A Jingle Bell Mingle by Julie Murphy, part of A Christmas Notch, 4 books in that series. I'm sorry, Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. What happens when there's no room at the inn and you and your potentially demonic cat become roommates with your grumpy one night stand? Part-time adult film actress slash one-time adult film director slash makeup artist. Okay, that's not a great start to a main character. Sunny Palmer has accidentally sold her very first screenplay to the Hope Channel. That was 6 months ago. Fast forward to a looming deadline, and uninspired Sunny has returned to the source of her inspiration in Christmas Notch, Vermont, to immerse herself in the local Christmas miracle on which her fever dream of a movie pitch was based. Isaac Kelly, former boy band heartthrob and the saddest boy in the music biz, is the latest owner of the town's historic mansion. After his years of heartbreak following his young wife's death, Isaac's record label is done waiting for new music. What better place to attempt his first holiday album than a snow covered mansion where he can become a hermit in peace? But after their best friend's wedding leads to them waking up together in a freezing motel room with questionable wiring and a broken shower, Isaac takes a chance and asks Sunny to stay with him at his home. Surely the place is big enough that he'll hardly see her or her unhinged cat. But when the two discover they're both creatively blocked, they make a handshake deal. Isaac will help Sunny hunt down the truth behind the local lore, and Sunny will help Isaac a new muse. Will find Isaac a new muse. And with these two opposites under one roof, there's no way this Jingle Bell Mingle could go off script, right? So the part I have a problem with, and this is not necessarily a moral judgment, but in a rom-com, in a romance book, can the main character be a part-time adult film actress? That just gives me a can't. You had a choice, author, and you chose this. Adam and Evie's Matchmaking Tour by Nora Wen. What's a few weeks to a lifetime of promise? Evie Lang's life is in shambles. On the heels of losing her beloved aunt, she's unceremoniously fired from her poetry professorship by her secret boyfriend. Lacking income and inspiration, she's stuck in Ohio with no idea how to move forward until Hope arrives in a surprising letter. Aunt Howe, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce that correctly, left Evie the deed to her San Francisco row house, a place full of Evie's happiest memories. The catch: to inherit, she must go on a prearranged matchmaking tour in Vietnam. The last thing Evie wants is to spend time with a group of strangers looking for love, but she can't resist the chance to finally visit her family's native home. A world away, Adam Quinn, I'm going to say that wrong, has a chip on his shoulder. He's working around the clock as CMO for his sister's elite matchmaking business, a job complicated by her insistence that he knows nothing about love. He's desperate to prove himself, so when she challenges him to join the inaugural tour, he reluctantly agrees. Adam thinks Evie is chaotic and unpredictable. Evie thinks Adam is grumpy and uptight. But from the bustling streets of Ho Chi Minh City to the soaring waterfalls of Dalat, they keep getting thrown together, their animosity charged with attraction, and they discover that true love may be out there if they are willing to take a leap. We're getting a lot of Christmas today. All I Want Is You by Fallon Ballard. All Jessica has ever wanted is her own happily ever after, but until that happens, she spends her day as a small time romance writer penning satisfying happily ever afters to soothe the heartache left by her ex boyfriend Nick, also a romance writer and now her biggest rival, who has found success writing love stories without happy endings. It's what he's good at, after all. So when their professional obligations bring them to a remote inn a few days before Christmas, they're a little more than peeved, especially when they get trapped sharing a room in a snowstorm. But what's more fitting for two romantic writers in a slump? Realizing the friction between them might be the only cure for their writer's block, they decide to turn the frustration into fiction. And the pages start flying. But will Jess's heart soar too? Nick is the last guy on earth she should love. But what if he is really all she wants for Christmas? If I Were You. Now, this one looks like a Freaky Friday kind of situation. Yeah. By Cheska Major. Hello, cover. I think my computer is dying. Amy and Flynn have been dating for 2 years and they love each other, don't they? Only Amy can't read Flynn's mind and Flynn can't read Amy's. Little do they know this weekend is make or break. Amy's nervous older sister is getting married at the world's swankiest wedding venue in rural Devon and is relying on her younger sister to be the perfect chief bridesmaid, called, the matron of honor. Frustrations on the way to a wedding escalate until both Amy and Flynn are shouting at each other in a country lane during a thunderstorm. Why can't they see things from the other's point of view? When lightning strikes, Flynn and Amy are thrown to the ground, and when they stand back up, they realize they've switched bodies. Forced to attend the glamorous wedding weekend as each other is surely an impossible task. With spa mornings, exes, flash mob rehearsals, speeches, and more, getting through this swap will test their relationship to breaking point. And when they each discover big secrets in the other's past, it seems that switching bodies could be the least of their problems. Even if they do manage to swap back, can their relationships survive? And of course, I went to that strange place of what if they go to bed together? Would you be making love to yourself? I mean, questions. And number one, Kiss Me at Christmas by Jenny Bayless. Christmas can officially get stuffed because Harriet Smith is not feeling bright and merry this year. Well, she doesn't get to decide for the rest of us. She hasn't for a while. So when her college age daughter opts for Manhattan's winter wonderland instead of Christmas at home, Harriet finds herself seeking solace in a wine soaked one night stand because that solves all your problems. But how Harriet will spend the holidays is swiftly decided for her after she takes the fall for some students who break into the town's old winter theater. To get the students off the hook, the theater's elderly owner requests that Harriet direct the washed out stage's final Christmas performance because you don't need any qualifications to do that. And Harriet will do anything to help the kids, even work with the owner's lawyer, who, as it turns out, is her less than impressed one night stand. Directing the play with him won't exactly change her life, but it will just reignite the Christmas spirit and remind her what makes life merry and bright again. One on One by Jamie Harrow. 8 years after graduation, Annie Bradford is not happy to be back at her alma mater in her old job with the Ardwin Tigers basketball team. Worse, her coworker from back in college, Ben Callahan, is still on the Tigers staff and he's annoyingly wholesome, hot, and clinging to a grudge against Annie for abandoning him and the team their senior year. But as Ardwin becomes the season's Cinderella story, things start heating up between Annie and Ben too. And while neither of them can deny this could be something special, Annie's afraid to tell Ben the truth about why she left basketball, the thing she loves most, in the first place. She'll have to learn to trust him if they have a shot at being together, in addition to being funny and blah, blah, blah. Rachel Weisz's Group Chat by Lauren Applebaum. The year's already off to a bad start. It's not enough that Rachel Weisz is stuck in a job she despises and has an unfortunate attraction to men who disappoint her. It's the year of turning 30, and now her mother won't stop trying to set up Rachel with the millionaire buying the house next door. Luckily, Rachel has amazing friends in their juicy group chat to keep her going, but amid work mandated therapy, her 13 gray hairs and biking in the buff, she can't help wondering why she isn't moving forward like everyone else. As Rachel's life and circle of friends begins to fall apart, she confides in the last person she expects, the uptight, irritating yet surprisingly funny and thoughtful tech bro next door, who may be the one person who sees Rachel for the woman she wants to be. After random DMs turn into confessing letters, she begins to realize perhaps it was she who had him wrong all along. The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ally Carter. The bridge is out, the phones are down, and the most famous mystery writer in the world just disappeared out of a locked room 2 days before Christmas. Meet Maggie Chase and Ethan Wyatt. She's the new queen of the cozy mystery. He's Mr. Big Time Thriller Guy. She hates his guts. He thinks her name is Marcy, no matter how many times she's told him otherwise. But when they both accept a cryptic invitation to attend a Christmas house party at the English estate of a reclusive fan, don't do it. Neither is expecting their host to be the most powerful author in the world, Eleanor Ashley, the Duchess of Death herself. That night, the weather turns, and the next morning, Eleanor is gone. She vanished from a locked room, and Maggie has to wonder, is Eleanor in danger? Or is it all some kind of test? Is Ethan the competition? Or is he the only person in the snowbound mansion she can trust? As the snow edges deeper and the stakes get higher, every clue will bring Maggie and Ethan closer to the truth and each other. Because this is Christmas, these two rivals are going to have to become allies and maybe more if they have any hope of saving Eleanor, assuming they don't kill each other first. End of row two. The Slowest Burn by Sarah Chamberlain. Sometimes the perfect recipe just needs a little extra heat. Ellie Wasserman's life is neat and tidy, and that's exactly how she wants it, really. A top ghostwriter for celebrity cookbooks, she was widowed 3 years ago and has no interest in taking chances, not on writing her own cookbook, not on telling her still grieving in-laws she wants to move out, and certainly not on dating, which is about as intimidating as a recipe with 50 steps. Kieran O'Neill isn't known for being organized, an up-and-coming chef who scored big on a reality television competition. He's been the guy who cracks a joke and makes messes, something his chilly family has never let him forget. The only place he feels truly capable is at the stove, but when he's paired with an uptight ghostwriter with cool blue eyes and distracting curves to write his debut cookbook, she shreds his class clown act like a paring knife cuts an orange peel. As Ellie, as Ellie and Kieran are forced to work closely together in a hot kitchen for weeks on end, their sharp edges and harsh judgments slowly soften and sweeten into a wildly delicious attraction. Long, steamy days turn into even steamier nights, but they have to face their painful past to know if this tender new love can transform into something lasting. The Worst Duke in London How do you know? Was there a poll? By Amelie Howard, third in the Taming of the Dukes series. Lady Evangeline Rain prefers animals to people and has no interest in marriage, much to the dismay of her flirty younger sister Viola, because their father has one rule: Viola may be courted only if Effie has a suitor as well. Saddled with debt, Gage Croft, Duke of Vale, is determined to rebuild his estates. When the owner of his vowels offers him a fortune, the IOU, get it, offers him a fortune to charm the impervious Lady Evangeline for the season so Lady Viola can be courted, the game is on, even if it means pretending to seduce an unconventional wallflower. But Gage gets much more than he bargains for in an adversary who wants to make her own scandalous arrangement. Effie will go to London for this season, but only if Gage agrees to be her lover. No. Yet, when their fake courtship leads to passionate feelings, will their indecent proposal end with the season or be the start of something real? Hope Unburied, third in the Treasures of the Earth series. Not a whole lot of. There we go. By Kimberly Woodhouse. In the bustling world of paleontology in 1916, Eliza Mills defies societal expectations to pursue her passion. Having published her early groundbreaking papers under a false name, she has finally earned her place at the Carnegie Museum and seizes the opportunity to work at Dinosaur National Monument with a renowned paleontologist. But things in Jensen, Utah aren't what they appear. When Eliza gets the chance to dig up bones at, and this says October 1st, get a chance to dig up bones at a ranch with dark history, it sparks a chain of events that will rock the very fabric of her carefully constructed world. We have different release dates. We do. Paperback out now. Kindle out later. Sounds interesting though. Moving on. A Novel Christmas by Charity Shane. Sarah Wright is a prominent Black romance author who has been signed to the most prestigious author of African American works, Brownstone Literature. Her career has been successful for the past 5 years. However, she's in a slump, and so are her sales and reviews. The romance she has been known for seems to be zapped out of her stories and her love life. Eager to get Sarah back on the top of the charts, her publisher has given her an ultimatum: write a chart topping holiday romance or be dropped from the publishing house. There's only one problem: Sarah strongly opposes penning holiday books. To her, they are cliche and off brand, but with her career on the line, she's forced to give it a shot. To capture the spirit of the holidays, she books a vacation in the most Christmassy town she can find. Sharing the other side of her rented duplex is the owner, Dorian Black, a volunteer firefighter and the town's Little League football coach. He's also Mr. December in the firefighters' annual fundraising calendar. Ah, and every woman's dream. Years ago, Dorian was happily married to the love of his life until cancer took her away from him. Still coping with the loss, a romantic relationship is the furthest thing from his mind. However, when he encounters his new tenant for the holiday, sparks fly and a fire is ignited that not even he can extinguish. As the two navigate through various encounters, holiday festivities, and a snowstorm, will the magic of Christmas help them rediscover a long awaited connection? End of row three. Christmas in Spite of You by Casey Mills. After pumping her hard-earned savings into a business plan that doesn't pan out, Noel Anderson is left financially strapped and needs a way to earn money to stay afloat. She decides to rent her apartment as an Airbnb for the Christmas holidays while visiting her family for Christmas. What she didn't plan on was coming down ill and having to cancel the trip. Canton Joseph is on the cusp of securing a lucrative business deal. In order to get a one up on his competition, he rents an Airbnb in the same apartment complex where his potential client resides. That's not stockfish at all. He's surprised when he shows up and the owner of the Airbnb not only wants to cancel the reservation, but is still occupying the space. With great reluctance, Noel and Canton agree to cohabitate for 1 week. But she's sick. Noel attempts to stay out of Canton's way, but they undoubtedly cross paths, causing friction between them. They immediately clash on everything, most notably with their views on the holidays. Noel is determined to have a very Merry Christmas despite her temporary housemate, which is the source of Canton's irritation. Eventually, the two begin to soften towards each other, and Canton learns to view things through Noel's eyes. Will the holiday magic fizzle, or will these two spark a connection they didn't realize they needed? Courting Miss Emma, The Hangman's Daughters, Book 2 by Linda Brodet. She finally found a place to belong, but can he give her the life she's always dreamed of? Texas, 1868. When guarded ex-army man Stone Landry buys the neighboring land and moves in, Hangman's daughter Emma Taggart's world changes forever. But their newfound connection is quickly tested by violent night raids, kidnappings, and underhand tricks by powerful rancher Zeke Parker, who is intent on running them out of town and taking the land he deems to be his. Can Emma find enough courage to trust in Stone and help him give her the life she's always dreamed of? Evergreen Christmas by Janet Daly. This is a new one. I did check. First in the Frosted Firs Ranch series. Barrel racer Jordan Banks is thrilled to discover affordable land for sale in charming Noel, perfect for her breeding her horses, but that's not all. A nomad with no family other than her beloved quarter horse Star, she also hopes to find a home within the close-knit Appalachian mountain community. Yet Jordan didn't bargain on inheriting a controversial Fraser fur or falling for a handsome single dad whose adorable little girl tempts her to dream of being far more than a property owner. Since losing his wife in childbirth 6 years ago, Nate Reed has devoted himself to their daughter Roxana, who built up their thriving Frosted Fir Ranch. For 9 years straight, he's won Noel's contest for the most perfect Christmas tree for the town square. It's a tradition he began with his late wife, but this year Jordan Banks is determined to harvest her Fraser fir and compete, meaning Nate will finally be challenged in more ways than one. Throughout the event, Nate can't help noticing that Roxana is dazzled by Jordan's strength, beauty, and quirky sense of humor. Soon enough, Nate is falling for her too. But can a feisty wanderer ever really settle down? Is Nate ready to open his heart to someone new? And is it possible that sometimes love does grow on Christmas trees? I apologize. My computer is just acting up, but we have run out of time. That is it for today. That was romance. Tomorrow we will be looking at fantasy and science fiction. And again, tonight I don't have any sprints. Our next sprints are tomorrow night on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and they go for 2.5 hours. Thank you very much. You don't have to watch these live because I do repost these morning shows, so you can watch them at their leisure. Um, Later this week, we'll be sprinkling in cozy mysteries and the leftover romances as best we can, probably on Friday. That is Freeform Friday. Hope you guys have a very good Wednesday. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.